How did France economically exploit Indochina? Imagine a land rich in resources but kept under strict control. France turned Indochina into a place where they could make money with little regard for local well-being. This is how they did it. France set up Indochina, which included Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos, mainly to benefit their own economy. They called it a colony of economic exploitation. The French government paid for itself mainly through heavy taxes on the native people. These taxes were high and made life very hard for local communities. Farmers and villagers had to give a large part of their crops or money to the colonial authorities. France also created near monopolies on key goods like opium, salt, and rice alcohol. They forced villages to buy and consume fixed amounts of these products. This system guaranteed steady profits for the French. In 2020, about 44% of the colonial budget came from these monopolies. By 1930, that share had dropped to 20%, but they still kept control. From the 1930s onward, France expanded their economic reach. They focused on growing crops like tea, rice, coffee, and pepper. They also mined minerals such as coal, zinc, and tin. Cambodia was mainly used for rice and pepper farming, while Laos provided timber, though on a smaller scale. French investors set up rubber plantations in Cochin China and Annam. These plantations used forced labor and relied heavily on indigenous workers. The French also built roads, ports, and railways to move goods faster, but these projects mainly served French interests. Taxes paid for these infrastructure projects, but most of the benefits went to French businesses and a small local elite. The majority of native people stayed poor and had little access to education or social services. This economic system created big gaps between the rich French colonists and the impoverished local population. This exploitation left a lasting mark. It caused deep social and economic inequalities that made many Vietnamese resentful. Over time, these feelings grew into nationalist movements fighting for independence. The struggle against colonial economic control became part of the larger fight for self-rule. The legacy of this exploitation helped shape the long and complex history of the Vietnam War.